Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And in this video, I'm going to go into detail and break down how to read the tape effectively. And the tape is a very, very strong tool just to gauge sentiment if buyers are aggressive, sellers are aggressive. And what the tape is going to show us is the level 2 right here on the bottom, which is basically buyers and sellers with limit orders sitting at a specific price. And then the time and sales right here effectively is going to show us the market orders which hit those limit orders on the level 2. Now, I have a very good video on this on my channel that I've made in the past before. I will link that in the description below. And in this video, it's really going to be a live trade example showing you how I break things down as the trade is developing and what I look for on the level 2 and time and sales exactly. So if you guys enjoy this video, please smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and I will also link my Instagram in the description below. So without further ado, let's get right into the live example. But really fast, we have a bid and ask on the level 2. What the bids represent are all the buyers. Think of B and bid as B and buyer. And we have all the prices as bid, and then we have the bid size as BS. What I have on here is a bid size of 2 for the price of $325.33. So what this 2 represents is you have to times it by 100. When you have a bid size, you times it by 100. So if you have 2, you have 200 shares someone's looking to buy at $325.33. Again, the one below it, you have someone that's looking to buy 300 shares because of the number 3 at $325.32. Now on the flip side, you have asks, which is also called the offer. So if you ever see us referring to the offer, we're talking about the ask, which has an ask size of 5. So if someone's looking to sell, you're on the ask, you're selling 500 shares at $325.37. Now the one below it, someone's looking to sell 100 shares at $325.38. So what the level 2 shows us is all the limit orders at a specific price. So I'm going to give you a good example. I'm just going to go here. I'm going to sell 200 shares of Apple at $325.50. Now watch what happens. I sold 200 shares, right? So my limit of 2 is now sitting there at $325.50. I could cancel it, cancel all, and I could put a limit, let's say, at $325.65. And look, it goes there as 2. So I'm going to cancel that again. That's if I'm looking to sell. Now, if I'm looking to buy, I could put a limit at, let's say, $325 even. 200 shares, and you're going to see my limit to buy at $325 for 2 bid size, which means 200 shares. Does that make sense? So the level 2 is just all limit orders. What the time and sales shows us is all market orders which are being executed by a limit order on the level 2. So for a limit order on the level 2 to get filled, it has to be filled and executed by another market order. You can't have a limit order filling another limit order. It has to be a market order hitting a limit. So if you see a buyer at, let's say, $325.33, someone has to sell to that buyer, right? So someone has to market order to sell, and it's going to hit the buyer, and vice versa on the ask. If someone's looking to sell as a limit on the ask, someone has to buy that sell order. So you want to see level 2 match up with time and sales. So let's see. I'm going to pause. I'm going to play this, and hopefully the time and sales populate. So we have a key level here, which is $325.25. What you want to see was when it comes up to this level, you want to see $325.50 on the ask. You want to see it not be very strong. You don't want to see huge size here. And you also want to see now big buyers step up on the bid. So watch what happens. The first time we test this $325.50, we're going to reject. When we reject, I'm going to try to pause the video there, and you're going to see the ask and how well stacked up it is. So let's hit play. So as we get closer to $325.50, watch, keep in mind the 50-cent increment of $325.50. Watch the ask size as we get close to that level. If it's a strong move, you're going to see, if you have a huge wall of sellers at $325.50, you're going to see huge $325.50s come up on the time and sales, because obviously they're market ordering to sell or to buy to those sellers. So if someone's market ordering buying to those asks, those offers, you're going to see 325.50s appear on the time and sales, and you're going to see the 325.50s get weaker on the level 2. So watch as we approach it, and you're going to see how strong the sellers are. And I'm going to explain why the sellers were strong. So keep in mind, watch the ask. Okay, right here. Now it's not 325.50, but it's close enough. We have a 52 seller on the level 2. Now this could be a spoof order because watch, we briefly go above the 345, the 325.45. So now watch, look at all the prints coming in for 345 or for 325.45. And look, this guy got smaller. So effectively that seller is not very strong. He got weaker because the market orders to buy hit that limit order to sell. So now watch when we come to the major key level of 325.50, and I'm going to pause it hopefully on that exact price. Now look, 325.50, we have a 74, a 16, a 12, right? And the bids, the buyers are not strong. So obviously the sellers are in control right now. So for this to be a strong breakthrough to scalp through it, you have to break 325.50. We have to see these asks getting, there's three things you want to watch out for when it's coming up to a key level for the long side. You want to see the wall of sellers. You want to see them get weaker. And what I mean by get weaker is you want to see the price or the ask size start getting smaller and smaller because obviously their sell orders are getting hit by market orders. So if that happens, the second thing we want to look out for is the 325.50s to appear on the level on the time and sales here. If they appear here, you're going to see this get smaller, and obviously that the wall of sellers is obviously going to get smaller because you have market order buy orders hitting that wall. And then another thing is if you want to see a major key level breakout, you want to see the buyers get stronger. So you want to see the bid size start seeing 325.50 or anything above 325.50, and you want to see the bid size start getting thicker and larger because obviously buyers are stepping in. The buyers are stronger than those wall of sellers if those wall of sellers get smaller. Now you're going to get better at this by watching key levels and watching the level 2. There's no real good way to get better at this other than seeing it for yourself and seeing how different levels react and how the sellers are stepping in or the buyers are stepping in. But this is going to give you guys a good base, a good guideline going into this. So when these stocks do come up to key levels, you'll be able to notice know what to look out for. But anyway, watch. So these sellers are obviously in control because we don't see any 325.50s on the time and sales after that, and no buyers stepping in on the bid, and the sellers still sitting there. And then watch what happens. We drop from this level and we sell off because obviously there wasn't enough buyers to break through that wall of sellers. Now this method is only good for scalping. This isn't good for holding for long term. This is good for major key levels if we want to break above it, bearish or bullish. Scalping is getting in 10 contracts, 20 contracts, and making 50 cents, 30 cents. So that's what scalping is good for. This moved down a whole dollar from that wall of sellers stepping in. So obviously there was no 325.50s. The sellers stepped up stronger. They did not get weaker, and the bids did not step in. So now I'm going to fast forward this to when we do break 325.50. Now this is also on a 5-minute chart too. The more tests you have on a certain key level on a larger time frame chart, the more probability of it breaking through for the upside or downside, you'll see continuation. So let's see. I don't know what time it breaks through. Okay, so you want to keep in mind when it's on a key level is to only pay attention when the price gets close to the bid or when the bid and the ask gets close to that specific key level. So if we're all the way down here, let's say 323, all the way down where my cursor is, we shouldn't be watching the level 2 all the way up here at 325.50 because price isn't close to that level. Does that make sense? So watch the asks as we get close to this level. Yeah, they're stacking kind of nice, but watch the time and sales as we get closer to that level. You want to see speed also. So this is also key too. At a key level, you want to see speed coming through on the time and sales. You want to see the orders coming through rapidly because that means A, a lot of volume's coming through, and B, a lot of orders are coming through, and it's going to match up with that price on the time or on the level 2. So watch 325.50. You see a 31 briefly, and then boom, we break through that level on the level 2. Let me pause it. We break through that level on the level 2. That 325.50 didn't show us any strength at all. We just broke right, passed through it. So now we're above 325.50 on the bid size. We're not strong yet, and you still have a big seller here, but watch what happens when we take over the seller. It almost breaks through easily. Look at that. Broke right through it. That size of 60 was nothing to the buyers. The buyers stepped right in. Now the asks are getting weaker, and we want to see the bids start getting stronger. Boom. Oh, I couldn't. Okay, boom. Look at the buyers now. Now buyers are stepping in. The bid size is getting larger. The ask size is diminishing. We took over the 325.50, and we took over that 62 ask size for 325.62. So now it's safe to play calls above this key level. The bids are stacking. The asks is not getting stronger. Bids are stacking. You see 6s, you see 14s. And we continue to see upticks on the time and sales, breaking through that level. And it's safe to scalp calls above this key level. Now it's important to stay on a 5-minute chart and just make sure we don't lose this uptrend. Now that we broke above the key level, it's important when you break above the level to see the bids increasing in price and then for them to get stronger on the bid size. That is key. So if you guys want to go back to on demand and see how this played out, we had resistance later on in the day at 326. If you want to go on demand, this is January 29th, 2020. You could go back and replay this on demand. I really recommend you guys using this feature. You could go back and look at the bid size. While I'm talking to you guys, look at that. For 325.55, you have a bid size of 347. So someone's looking to sell 34,000 shares. Or someone's looking to buy 340 or 34,700 shares. So for us to come below this level, if it's a true order, if it's not a spoof order, and if it's a true order, someone has to sell to these buyers over 34,000 shares. Now he's gone. So it's important for us to now hold that level.